All right, so Marvin Winans was on the news to clear some things up about what happened at his church with the $1,200 seed. And supposedly he apologized to that woman, and rightfully so, right? Because he did her wrong. Now, he got on the news very, very quickly. If I give my own opinion, this is my own opinion, right? I'm not saying he did it, but I believe he contacted the news. That's my own opinion. I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm just sharing my own opinion. I believe he contacted the news because that thing happened recently, and it's like almost like he was on the news the next day. So I think he contacted them or something like that. I don't know how he got in there quickly. Maybe they were just trying to get some clout and chase a story. I don't know, but that thing was quick. And he utilized the news to explain what happened. And I saw the context. I know what he meant, right? And he did give instruction, but he was still rude and kind of condescending. And the lady that he rebuked also came on the news, and she was like, I didn't get rebuked. I didn't get rebuked. I just got corrected. But unfortunately, she does not know what rebuke means. Rebuke means to be corrected. That's what it means. Rebuke means to be corrected, right? And again, I'm not here to attack Marvin Winans. I'm not here to attack anybody, right? I gave my own opinion in the beginning, and then we're going to review this, him speaking on the news. All right, so let's get it.
But first, we need to clear up a major misunderstanding that's gone viral on social media.
On Sunday.
But first, we need to clear up. We need to clear up. Just from that intro, it makes me believe he contacted them. Right? Just from that intro, it makes me feel like he contacted them.
But first, we need to clear up a major misunderstanding that's gone viral on social media.
On Sunday, Pastor Marvin Winans hosted a day of giving. Members of Perfecting Church were asked to donate $1,000 and raise another $1,000 to help finish the new sanctuary in Detroit and support their community programs. Pastor Winans asked those giving $2,000 or more to come to the front of the church first, with others following, from the largest donors to those donating as little as $1.62. But one.
Now, the reason I don't like that, the lineup, greatest to least, because it can make people feel bad, man. It can, because the Bible says, do not let your right hand know what you're doing, or your left hand. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know it out the top of my head right now, which basically means like when you give, you shouldn't be just like saying it out loud and letting people know how much you're giving. That's what that verse really means, right? So I don't like the fact that it's like, okay, the greatest amounts come first. That's not even biblical. The greatest amounts come first: 2,000, 1,000, 500, 400, 300, 200, $1. That's not even biblical, because it's just wrong. It's just wrong. I don't understand how a pastor can even allow that, but I think it's ridiculous.
Member Roberta McCoy went viral after someone posted video of her coming to the front with less than $2,000, claiming she was rebuked by Pastor Winans. I spoke exclusively with both Pastor Winans and Roberta McCoy, who says she's been attacked online since that video began spreading.
You're the woman in that viral video.
Right.
He did not rebuke you.
He absolutely did not rebuke me. Now, there's a difference. There was a correction because
You hear her. This might be idolatry or just trying to protect their pastor, but he did rebuke you, and we're going to play that clip. He did rebuke you. The word rebuke just means to correct. That's all it means. The word rebuke simply means to correct. And you were publicly corrected for not bringing $2,000. You were publicly corrected, and he was definitely condescending because you only came with $12,000, because he said to you, this is only $12,000. This is only $1,200. It's only $1,200. I didn't tell you to do that. Oh, I'll work on the other 800. I didn't tell you to do that. Y'all not listening. That's condescending. That is a rebuke. That is a public rebuke. Rebuke means to correct. All right. Luke chapter 17, verse 3 says, pay attention to yourselves. Pay attention to yourselves. If your brother sins, rebuke him. And if he repents, forgive him. That word rebuke means to correct. So I think she's just right here trying to protect her pastor.
Video.
Right.
He did not rebuke you.
He absolutely did not rebuke me. Now, there's a difference. There was a correction because let me clearly state that Pastor gave instruction on the lines to get into.
I was calling because the whole church was giving, and it was our day of giving, and the whole church was coming, and we didn't want people standing, the mothers and all that, so I was calling them by increments. And we had someone that had given out of...
Can you imagine? You're calling by increments, the highest to the least amount of giving. How is that biblical? That is so wrong. You're calling. You're not saying left row come up. You're not saying right row come up. But you're here to reveal in the church basically who has the most money, who's giving the most, and who's giving the least. Oh, this person to the left can only give 5 cents. This person to the right, she over there can only give $1.62. So you're just exposing people's financial situation. It's just a horrible thing to do in the church. To have a lineup based upon the greatest to the least. What is that? That is annoying. And that can be embarrassing too. It can be embarrassing because you're at the back of the line and there's 60 people in front of you. And you're at the back of the line, you got the least amount of money. That's horrible. And you got to say on the microphone, I'm giving 5 cents, I'm giving $1.50, I'm giving $1.62. That is embarrassing.
Before, and I corrected it, and I told everybody to listen and come when you call, and that's all that was.
Roberta told me Pastor Winans personally apologized to her. She's been a member of Perfecting Church since 2013 and has given faithfully over the years and will continue to do so.
Now think about this. If he apologized to her, like the news reporter just said, he's acknowledging that he was wrong. So all of y'all that are defending him and whatnot, yada, 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 he was wrong, even though he gave instructions, okay? Where he's wrong is how he treated her, how he embarrassed her, how he seemed like he wasn't grateful for someone giving $1,200 towards his vision, towards his church, towards what he's doing. And his issue was it wasn't the greatest to the least. I want this line to just be 2,000. For what? For what? For what?
All right. Listen to me. We gonna get down. If you didn't give but $4.25, we gonna get to you today. Touch a neighbor and say, this is the day of giving. I'm trying to do it orderly. So if you're in the line and your total doesn't equal 2,000, you can just slip out while ain't nobody looking right now. And we're gonna call you to come
Giving
back.
faith.
Now that's the context. I played this yesterday. I'm not gonna go too deep into it. That's the context, right? He did give instruction and he told people to come from the highest to the least, the most amount of money to the less. And I don't like that, but he did give instruction. But how he treated this woman was not right. You should have been like, okay, thank you, God bless you, and kept it moving. But you wanted to do too much.
And stand in unity with the vision of Perfecting Church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Now that's only $1,200. I'm not going to go too deep into this because I did it yesterday, but my God, I'm glad he apologized to her, but my goodness, that's only $1,200 from her own pocket, from her own bank account. And you're saying that's only.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm going to work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do. I want everyone.
See, that is a rebuke. That is a rebuke, and he did not. He sounded condescending, and he was not grateful for somebody giving him $1,200, $1,250. He was not grateful. He just said, "Whatever, you came up too early. You should have waited. I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't tell you to come up here. Y'all not listening." The love of money is the root to all kinds of evil. It's not biblical. I don't care what nobody says. This will never be biblical to me. And that's why I said I believe that this man contacted the news. That's my personal opinion. I'm not saying it's true, but that's my opinion, and we're allowed to have opinion. Until I know the truth, truly what happened, I'm going to keep my opinion. That's fair to say. I'm going to keep my opinion, and this ain't right. This ain't right in no way, shape, or form. And I played this yesterday as well. The most embarrassing part was not that woman, but it was this woman at the end of the line that could only give $1.50, $1.50, $1.62 and 5 cents.
$1.50, $1.50 plus $1.60 and another 5 cents with Dorian K. Bell and the Murphy Bell family.
I don't care what nobody says. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. Why? Not because you don't have much to give and you getting the little that you have. That's not the embarrassing part. But you were at the back of the line and people were giving $50,000, $100,000, $50,000, $1,000, $500, $400, and you at the back of the line, and you got to wait all that time holding your kid on the side of your hip, and you're announcing that you're giving $1.62, $1.50, and then 5 cents. Stuff like that gets me tight. Like, that's so wrong, man. At the back of the line, and she holding her son on her hip, and her last donation was 5 darn cents. And we not attacking the woman that gave the $1.62 and the $1.50 and the 5 cents. We're not attacking her, but we saying it's not right for what that pastor did. I don't care how anyone tries to twist it. It is shameful. It is embarrassing. He needs to apologize also to that woman that was all the way at the back, and it was recorded that she only gave 5 cents. That should never be recorded. It should never be announced publicly, live streamed, recorded in front of the whole church that this woman at the back of the line is only giving 5 cents. Never. Never. Because we try to talk about the widow woman in the Bible that came with the penny. Jesus saw that. It wasn't announced publicly. Jesus saw that, and he began to talk to the disciples. Jesus saw her heart posture. It wasn't this huge announcement. And I'm pretty sure that if she gave a penny to the religious leaders and they saw, they would have shamed her, humiliated her. Oh, that's nothing. Because the Bible makes it clear that Jesus was saying that she gave more than the others because of her heart, right? Because of her heart. So the other people are definitely giving way more. So they would have been like, what is this? It's crazy, man. And I will never get with churches. I will never get with churches that capitalize on the poor and needy to build their empire. If you're building a new church or expanding your church, but you're not generous to the poor and needy in your church, you are in error, and you're building an empire for self-glorification. That needs to stop. And Marvin Winans, you're in error. Stop having these lines from greatest to least. Stop doing it, because giving is based upon the heart. And I know you're trying to raise money and whatnot, but that ain't the way. This is not an auction. This is not a, hey, who has the greatest and the lowest? And no. Idolatry. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Let me go pray, guys. I'm irritated because I grew up in poverty. I grew up poor. I've experienced not being able to go up there and give. There's been times where I've given like $4, $1, and there was times I was embarrassed. Like, yeah.